Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, good night, and good day to you, friends, and welcome to the almost daily variety gaming live stream show Extravaganza. Please stand by, this live stream will be starting soon. We've got one quick thing to say before we get into the gaming action, and then hopefully, fingers crossed, no distractions, no unexpected discussions, just diving right into Assassin's Creed Shadows. Stay tuned for further programming coming out today. Whether you're watching live or in the not too distant future, I should be playing some Assassin's Creed Shadows, and then some Call of Duty, and then some more robots, and then maybe an actual podcast episode, because there's been a lot going on in the last few days we haven't even addressed yet. But for now, friends, please stay tuned for some Assassin's Creed Shadows. Shout out to viewers on both platforms. Hello, people watching on Twitch. Maybe not right now, as the viewer count does say 0, but in the not too distant future, as I notice people come through and watch on the video on demand shelf. Thank you for coming by. Even if I'm not live, you are of course always welcome to come on through when I am live. Shout out of course to anybody dropping through on the TikTok live channel. I do not have direct integration of alerts into Streamlabs, but we'll be doing sporadic TikTok roll call and check-in. Hello, friends, and welcome. Oh, everything looks wrong. Why did everything look wrong? I forgot to set everything up. There we go. And of course, we got the wrong camera angle setting. This does it. It does this to me all the time. I've always got to be bloop, bloop, bloop. There we go. And then, of course, for whatever reason, here in this setup, the bounding box is weird. You can only really tell over here on the Streamlabs setup. But anyways, join me as we step through the Streamlabs portal of desktop infinities into our desktop. There's Twitch. I'm sorry, there's TikTok. I get them too confused because they start with the same letter. And I do that. Sorry, Grammarly. I'm not interested in you right now. But hello, viewers. Now, normally I would see names here. For whatever reason, I'm not seeing any, but we'll come back. That's how we do TikTok roll call. So if you drop by and I'm busy with gaming action, please, please, please at least drop a little hello. If you're engaged by whatever chit-chat we're discussing, feel free to react. If I'm not chit-chatting, feel free to start some chat up by saying something. If you want to get into a podcast-related public discourse discussion, I will ask you to please be patient. I'm going to start scheduling actual podcast, talk show style chat-only sessions more often, because even some of the gaming viewers, and that's what I wanted to talk about. I wanted to make sure we did TikTok roll call. Nobody's name is there. Let's take a moment. This is our pre-game chat show session for one hot second. Whoa. There's no DJ Zed here. Where's DJ Zed? Why is there no DJ Zed? Come back in, DJ Zed. Sorry. Technical issues. Here's our audio input for DJ Zed. Where the mic can go away. We don't need this. I made an audio input and I realized there's a default audio input that I could use and it's better. Anyways, hello friends. Let me take a moment. Let me pick a different camera. I don't remember what these look like. No, I don't want that one. Let's go main cam solo. Where's my coffee? There's my coffee. Okay, friends, hello. Awkward camera and mic boom arm placement aside. Thank you for being here. I wanted to take a moment to issue a public discourse apology. Although I feel we both had valid points in our discussion yesterday, I was unnecessarily gruff and grumpy with friend of the show, Jay Turntable. And I will admit it is for two reasons. Politically speaking, when it comes to public debate, I am often confronted by people who are convinced, because of political ideological constructs they've bought into, that the poor, as a class, as a monolith, are the bad guys and are responsible for most of the problems of the world. I realized even yesterday, although I probably did not articulate myself very well, I was, and this is no excuse, I was already in a grumpy mood and was trying to alleviate my mood by enjoying some adult beverages. That didn't help. and it's explicitly for that and for being grumpy about it, I want to apologize to Jay Turntable. I'm sorry that I was grumpy and gruff and snarky in my delivery. You had some valid points. People make dumb choices. I have made dumb choices. And what I was trying to convey, which I realize I failed because of my grumpy state and the fact that I was not in the mood to have a public discourse debate about something like that. I was really looking forward to diving in a not sober state into the feudal Japan environment. And although I'm always down to have civilized public discourse, I'm not always prepared. So I apologize for my demeanor. And if I said anything that was a bit too confrontational about the issue, I think we both had valid points. I think that the point I failed to make yesterday, and I want to take a moment to make now, not out of anger, not out of wanting to continue any kind of debate, but rather to clarify my position, why I was unable to conform or agree to the statements being made. It's this. Yes, people make dumb mistakes. And we can find individual examples from real life and, of course, through our art, as we explore life in art, that will lead us to that kind of conclusion that it is fair to say that poor people contribute to their poverty with the choices that they make. It's not unfair to say that. I mean, there is an importance to taking personal responsibility in all circumstances. But there are also hard limits, and that's what I was trying to speak to. Okay? The hard limit in this situation, in this theoretical discussion about the entirety of poor people and whether or not some percentage of them are entirely solely responsible for their circumstances, it's this. And I failed to articulate this yesterday, and I hope I'm articulating it clearly in this next statement. No matter what decision I have made, you have made, anybody in the worst situation that we can imagine may have made, those situations, those decisions that they made, even if they were terrible and deeply life-altering, and I can think of really obvious dumb examples in the general sense, and we can probably dig around and find really clear and fact-based, examples in real life. I concede that, an individual's decisions contribute greatly. But every single, and here's my point, every single one of those decisions were made inside of a context that person cannot be held accountable for because they were born into it. You and I were born, everyone, I just banged my hand against my desk and it hurt. Right at that funny bone wrist place. Every human being born in all of living memory, and arguably throughout human history, has been born into a system they have zero influence over, right? No one chooses whether they're born into a struggling family on the verge of poverty. No one chooses if they're born into a family that's so well off that they will never have to think about poverty in their lifetime, right? Because of just the blessings of the bounty they were born into. And everyone, even when they become independent individual adult responsible for their own actions and for their own decisions, that responsibility is constrained and entirely contained by the socio-political economic system that generations before us built. Okay? So, no matter what decisions any particular given individual may have made, every one of those decisions was made inside of this context. And by default, deeply influenced by those constructs. Those constructs include the fact that it is the capitalists, and that's a very specific word that a lot of people misuse. A lot of people call themselves capitalists, but do not own any fucking capital. And there I just used I deleted, I censored myself, but there I'm using that not out of anger, but out of just comedy emphasis. There's a lot of people out there like waving the capitalism flag who are not capitalists. They're workers who work for capitalists, right? They are consumers. And that's another thing we forget. Capitalism is one half of a system. You can't have consumerism and capitalism without each other. At least not in the way that they exist now as we understand them. They are intrinsically forever tied. So no matter what terrible decision any given individual may have theoretically made, they made those series of decisions, inside of the cage that they were born into. And those cages, and I say this metaphorically, right, were designed and built by those who control the socio-political economic system that we're born into. It's that simple. And poverty as a phenomena, right? Poverty not as an individual instance of, oh, this person's poor and those people aren't, but as a thing that is happening at a global level, wouldn't exist in the ways that we see it without the imposition of that entire socio-political economic system of many complicated systems, which are designed, built, implemented by and for the benefit of the pinnacle of the wealthiest of the wealthy, right? Like, I didn't build those systems, and I have no direct capacity to influence those systems beyond whatever social conventions we've afforded ourselves as a society. That's what I was trying to convey in the face of what seemed to me an irrational and targeted and ideologically motivated targeting and accusational implication that poverty is something that people choose. It's only true in as much as that it is something they are forced to choose from and often have no other choices to select. If a person born under the worst circumstances can choose poverty or more poverty or slightly worse conditions than that, or removing themselves from the playing field, or selling themselves out in ways that may be morally compromising, right? Like, if those are your options, is it fair to blame you for choosing an option that others find easy to scapegoat instead of looking at the systematic issues, right? No matter what an individual chooses, you cannot exclude the systemic circumstances those decisions are being made under. That was my central, mental problem. That was my intellectual disagreement with the discussion yesterday. And I utterly failed to convey that in a meaningful and civil enough way. And I deeply apologize. I genuinely, sincerely apologize to Day Turntable. I don't know if they're going to catch this, but I will ask Eclipse to make a clip, please. Clip that. I'll be sure to edit it so that it doesn't miss the beginning of the thing. Hopefully that all fits in one big clip. I wish I could pull that now so I can be like, here you go, J Turntable, because who knows, they might show up. I might have lost them as a follower. I don't know. And I feel sincere empathy and self-judgment. I feel self-aware, and I'm dissatisfied with the way I chose to respond yesterday. I could excuse it because of the circumstances. I'm not trying to. I'm taking ownership. I made choices in the way I spoke, But I was also impacted by my immediate circumstances. One being that I have done my best throughout my life and am categorically in the class of the working poor, and always have been my entire working life, despite any of the good choices I may have tried to make. And independent of any of the, like, no matter what, even if I had never made any bad choices, which I did, and I, you know, in terms of my own awareness of that, I take count of that. But also, every choice I made was preemptively bound by the limitations of the system around me. And the system around me is designed to prevent people from improving their financial situation in simple and empowering ways. It's designed so that as few people as possible can join the upper echelon of bazillionaires. Because for whatever reasons, like, profit is inherently associated with exclusivity, right? Like, in the system that is our capitalist consumerist system, it's a profit motive system, right? And so profit gets prioritized over almost everything else. And profit isn't inherently humane, moral, rational, but it is the number one priority of all corporate entities, right? Like, above and beyond all else, a corporation is designed to create profit. And that motivating factor being everywhere, completely saturated in the system that we grow up in, is inherently, what's the word I'm looking for? It's inherently an obstacle, right? It's inherently like a hill you got to constantly be trying to push that boulder up. And a lot of that, when we analyze it at a systemic level, is immoral, inhumane, and apparently almost inescapable, except for the rarest of circumstances, because of luck or talent. There are millions of talented people that we will never know the names of because they never became rich and famous despite their talent. And that is the systemic problem that is overshadowing and influencing, directly oppressing anyone and everyone that is poor. Because we wouldn't have poverty in the ways that we know it and the ways that people experience it now if the system didn't manufacture it as part of the way the system works. Anyways, I think I've expressed the point I meant to convey yesterday, and I want to restate my apologies for failing to engage in exactly what I'm always promoting, which is civilized discourse. I got grumpy and disgruntled and thought that what I was trying to communicate was obvious and was not in the mental place. I was not intellectually nor biophysically prepared, and not a good excuse. I apologize. Anyways, I hope that the internet finds a way for J Turntable to catch all that. And if not, I will gladly repeat it to them should they happen to drop by again into the chat, which I guess I won't hold my breath for, because I realized I was rude enough to have potentially lost someone who was, up until that point, an actual real life human viewer and follower and supporter of the channel. But there we go. I also stand by my point. I don't apologize for speaking up against the sentiment as expressed. I want to make that clear, because it's problematic. Even when we try to soften it, we should always catch ourselves when we are perpetuating the talking points of the oppressor, was kind of my point. And like any attempt to otherify a class of people that is apparently biased in favor of this capitalist system that is clearly, by any analysis, unfair, immoral, oppressive, and motivated by an inhumane motivation, which is profit at all expense, profit at all cost, especially profit at all human cost. I mean, that's still something that everyone, I think, must be challenged to question. And that was my intent, and my execution was deeply flawed. I apologize for the way we had that engagement. I do not retract my statements necessarily. I would have said effectively the same sorts of things and hopefully gotten to my point with greater clarity and with a little bit more of a convivial attitude, because that's what I'm challenging myself to do when I do engage in public discourse, right? But also, the environment is such that, everyone's sort of worked up and amped up and ready to get snarky. Given the degree to which the stakes have been raised in our current socio-political, economic, and ideological environment, or the chapter that we're in, whatever you want to call this period we're living through. All right. Having said all that, I hope that my apology reaches J Turntable and that my apology is accepted, because I'm all in favor of an earnest discussion. Well, hello, Olive95894. What is it with all the numbered names? What's up, Olive? Thank you for the follow. Thank you for dropping in. I was just rambling and making a public apology for being a bit of a snarky and unfriendly version of myself in a moment that that I actually should have been more well prepared for, because I am constantly encouraging people to engage in public discourse about the important topics of our day. Thank you for the follow. Don't be shy. Please say hi. We're about to dive in, and that was a long pregame chat lounge session. I chatted. I got it off my chest. I am now going to set up and get ready to dive into Assassin's Creed Shadows, which, despite all the nonsense being discussed about the game, is, in my humble opinion, this game is awesome. Excuse me. Let me say that again for enunciating clarity. Despite all the malarkey being bandied about in the public discourse regarding this game, personally, as a gamer, stipulation, I'm an old school gamer that then didn't game very much for a really long time, so I missed out on all of these games. I know Assassin's Creed Shadows is new, but I didn't play any of the Assassin's Creed series, right? Same thing with Call of Duty. Part of the fun for me, even though it becomes drudgery and a bit of a slog sometimes, part of the fun for me with this project is that I'm getting to play all the games that I missed out on because I was busting my ass in a dead-end job that I thought would be the path to a career in an industry that I studied for, but was just a place that was going to use my labor and never offer me a path forward. In a market, in an industry that is already oversaturated, right? And that's one of the problems we're not discussing. The big issue in our economic situation is that we train more people than we have jobs for in certain markets, and not enough people for jobs that need filling in other markets, and we're not addressing those issues. We're arguing and fighting over ideological interpretations of what is supposed to be the righteous way to do economy, and I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. But I digress. Pin on the corkboard. I don't want to turn this particular session into a podcast talk show. Okay. All right. Having said all that, thanks again to Olive95894 for the recent follow. And shout out to everybody else who may be dropping in and checking things out. I am now going to step away and get ready. We're going to dive into Assassin's Creed Shadows in just a moment. Thank you very much for being here. Your viewership and support is appreciated. Please be advised, this is part of a larger project of many projects, so I'm not just live streaming long-form video game action content. I'm also doing research for a particular subset of stories that I want to tell inside my book series that I'm slowly sort of turning into. I'm slowly beginning to make myself write actual pages on stream as part of the whole project of many projects. So let's see if this week we can get more done. That's a reminder to me more than anything else, because tomorrow is Wednesday, and Wednesday is the starter, pilot day where we're trying to integrate the daily writing routine starting on Wednesdays and hoping I can bootstrap it into at least 3 or 4 days out of the week that we just spend the first part of the day, regardless of when I wake up. And I'm in a weird clockless experiment schedule. And also for the summer heat, I usually go nocturnal to avoid living in that grossness as much as possible. It's easier to put up with when I'm unconscious. So yeah, my schedule is going to be all over the place, but I hope you all will tune in and watch things either on when I'm live on TikTok and Twitch, or on either of the depositories where I save stuff, which is the video on demand shelf, which is short term unless I highlight a thing, and then over on the YouTube archive, which is one of my 2 YouTube profiles. I forget which, but I think it's the Mr. Zeppo 421. Anyways, I'm going to get ready and then we're going to dive in. Let's go. Okay, this is something I'm still wrapping my brain around. Some people call this the game's battle pass, or akin to like what they do in Fortnite and in Call of Duty. I think it's slightly different, although arguably the mechanics boil down to approximately the same. You earn points and then you claim items in the thing. But the one thing that makes this different is that it's completely free. There's no like buying or unlocking the battle pass the way you do in Call of Duty. And I don't really know this stuff is connected to the outside of the simulation meta story, which is easy to sort of neglect or forget about because it's so rarely it appears, it so rarely intrudes into one's gameplay. But as you might remember, we recently finally reached the point in this playthrough, and I'm not sure if there's multiple ways to activate this because I don't remember being on the quest that was highlighted or identified in the little walkthrough that I read. That quest is called something about heads rolling, and I don't remember ever having that quest unlocked. I may have just failed to realize that it was happening, but I got to a point where I found the rift, went through it, and talked to the spooky ghost digital avatar lady again. We hadn't seen that character since the very beginning of the game, and I don't know how much longer it'll be before we interact with that aspect, but this is definitely an incursion from outside of the gaming simulation, from wherever the animus machine is happening, and whatever that story is. As someone that, as I like to point out, because it's sort of the gimmick or one of the themes of my live stream content, I missed out on playing all these games. To me, the entire Assassin's Creed franchise is like a brand new game that's just epic huge and has multiple chapters, and I am jumping back and forth playing the chapters in whatever weird, it really is just based on what my brain is craving as a gamer. But one of the goals I have with both Assassin's Creed and Call of Duty is to try and, over the course of several days weeks, months, and maybe even years, because I have been not successful in maintaining like an efficient rotation. But I want to rotate through and play as much as possible of the Assassin's Creed franchise and of the Call of Duty franchise, because of the FOMO. I missed out on all that 20 plus years of gaming history in those two franchises. Anyways, so this is interesting. I stopped to pause to comment. I don't know what it means by consult decrypted data files in the vault. That is a feature and or a page that I haven't looked at, or if I have looked at, I just didn't process. So let's claim this and see if it opens a new subsystem in here, or indicates a new page I can look at, or if something comes up in the archives. I don't know. I'm intrigued to find out, and I'm intrigued to make this a priority, because they do randomly, weirdly rotate, and we have only X many days, or they rotate every week. Although I don't know that the actual prizes rotate. I'm not clear on how that all works. I'm the kind of person that advocates for going and reading what the developers have to say about it when these kinds of questions come up, because I'm fascinated by how much people don't read what developers put out there about games that they're enthusiastically into. But I'm totally doing that right now, so I've made myself a hypocrite. It's inherent in our human nature, I think, to do that. But I digress. That's something we should talk about someday on the podcast. Let's click on this thing. Oh, do I have to hold it? Oh, it's just being glitchy. We've acquired a thing, an encrypted data file. Okay. Some contracts and trading with itinerant vendors. Unlock 500 data fragments. I've earned enough to get it like a little bit of the way up the thing. Okay. Anomalies. Okay. Gather Oakwood. Okay. Kill a Ronin. I think I can do that. We got 1 day. They're here. This is what I want to look at. We got 1 day, 11 hours and 46 minutes to complete these current challenges. These are individual things. Go to the thing. I still haven't figured out the tournament. I don't even know what that is. Is there a tournament system? If there is, I haven't even encountered it yet. We can do these. I think we can work on these 3 by default. Obviously, the Gather Oakwood is just going to happen. Okay, here's the vault. Oh, I've never looked in here before. Or have I? Oh, okay. That's right. Duh. Alright, so here we're going to find a random... This is the first one. The Diary of Joel Eastman. WBT. Okay, this is the whole thing. I have to read this. See what I mean? Like, this has got nothing to do with feudal Japan. What is going on? I'm intrigued. This is the part that drives me into, like, the curiosity part. It drives me a little bit more as far as, like, what is really going on with these games than just the gameplay action. Love the gameplay action, like some of them more than others, in terms of how they make sense in my brain. Like, I'm a little intimidated by the very first Assassin's Creed, because I know from the times I've dabbled with trying to play it, it's just like the move, everything's a little bit counterintuitive to me, and it's not quite the same as what we are now used to in the more modern versions of the game. Black Flag was tricky for me for some reason. And I've debated, this is a completely random idea, but I've debated whether or not there's some way to figure out a unified Assassin's Creed button scheme. And I'm not good at that. I'm not one of those people that'd be like, I know what to do, and just like do the schematic and like be able to then reassign everything. It would just take me a really long time, and I'd have to do it more like a slow test and figure out if it's even possible by attempting to. Why is this going on? So this whoever Joel Eastman is, and I don't know if it's like, for example, this is how much of a noob I am to the franchise. This might be a well-known character in the franchise, and I just have no idea. And to me, it's all a mystery. It's all new. I don't have nostalgia bait happening. I don't have nostalgia attachments to any particular title in the franchise, I want to play through them all to figure out just to enjoy the process. And to see if this meta story is as sophisticated as I hope it turns out to be, or if it's really as thin as my first impression of it could lead the cynic in me to think it is, you know? I don't know. I haven't played any of the titles deep enough to know for sure what the answer to that kind of nonsense question is. Okay, we don't even know where this is set. I don't know what WBT is, but heat curfew. Okay, so it's this is a dystopian climate disaster sign, type situation. Marrakesh. Okay. All right, now we have some context of locality. Whoa. When? I have no idea about when. It does seem at least modern, if not postmodern. Huh. Well, this is getting like personal and like memories about arguments. Okay. That story has absolutely nothing to do with what's going on in this simulation, right? Like, and this system is like interconnected to, where's the, like, one of the things that I'm surprised I haven't seen more hubbub about is the fact that the launcher is a unified launcher for all of the postmodern, what I've been calling the postmodern titles from the game series. There seems to be, and I don't know what the rest of the community feels like or thinks about the evolution of the game franchise and where they would delineate the changes, but my experience is, or my assessment of it is based entirely on my impressions as I've played through them together here for the very first time. It definitely seems like over the course of time, a shift occurred, and the games have chosen to be more this open world sort of stuff than what they were doing previously. And I don't have a bias or a preference in either direction. Some people are very divided by that, but like I said, to me, this is all one big, new, interesting, amazing thing, and the story's being told in slightly different ways with each title. And I'm just enjoying the process of getting through them all as much as possible. To that end, let's dive in, for crying out loud. I'm going to probably play headset free, so forgive me. Muting the mic and probably staying off camera for a bit. But like I said, please do feel free to drop chat in the chat flow. I will do a chat check-in and TikTok roll call periodically in between rounds of gaming action. Here we go.
Eager. How I wish I'd known this place before.
I've been wondering whether I should do these exclamation points before moving on to this quest, and I still haven't... Because they might be a whole long, complicated thing each. But also, it might be the right time to do them now before moving on with this personal story. We're right here, so I think I'm going to click on this. Let's get into it. Let's see what this is. This might be something really short and simple. It might be a cutscene that tells us something about the story. It might send us off on a new set of... like skill things, like the meditation thing for now. Let's find out.
How soft you are. Is it hard for you to be here with me?
What do you mean?
When you and I were first here.
No. We've all taken actions we regret while wearing the cloaks of loyalty. All of us. I'm glad you're here with me, Yasuke.
Still, I am sorry you lost your home.
You lost yours too. At least I still have the pieces.
I never thought of it that way.
With the pieces, you can mend, strengthen, make something that was already precious even more so. Have you ever gotten a good look at the little tanuki's handiwork?
Kintsugi. It is beautiful.
Maybe it will be the same with our homes.
I do not think we have enough gold for that.
I don't know, Yasuke. You do have some rich friends.
It will never be the same, though.
No.
How does it sound? The Tsutsubue, after Junjuro mended it.
Even better. See for yourself.
Perhaps better depends on who is playing. I thought it would be easier to play. You just blow, right?
Mother, Auntie Matsu's gone.
Yes.
Did she run away? Where did she go?
She has gone to the mountains. Young man, come here.
Is there something you need?
I am old and poor. There are many things I need. Right now, I need help. There was a time when I could deal with bandits myself. Now I must beg someone to do it for me.
They can be ruthless. There is no shame in asking for help.
The attacks never end. The few of us left in Iga after Nobunaga's Rota make easy targets for them. They laugh while they beat and rob us. No one stops them.
I am so sorry for your suffering. Let me deal with these bandits.
We are used to suffering, but we still have our honor. We do not expect charity. Know that your help will be fairly rewarded.
Okay, I am curious why the first one we did was like just a memory about something they could have made a play mechanic, like make Yasuka learn how to play the ocarina or whatever the instrument's actually called. I know it's not an ocarina, but it reminds me of the Ocarina of Time, and I'm probably mispronouncing that anyways because I didn't actually play the game. I just heard about it and read about it and stuff. So anyways, this one brings up an actual like map assignment / challenge. Is it just an objective that floats in the world? Where is this? Did we meet a people of Iga? Here we go. Aha! Yes, we met the elderly woman. This will just passively grind as we eliminate bandits in the area. So that's cool. We don't need to highlight it, I guess. But I guess we could. No, we're going to grind on. We're going to journey on to our new location once we find our horse. Alright, interesting times. I'm curious to see how many more of these little, like, regional specific exclamation point widgets crop up. There's a bunch of them that keep kind of... since they first were introduced, I keep finding new ones every so many sessions or so many hours. I don't know. I haven't kept tabs on it, so I really couldn't state exactly how many. Anyways, let's go towards our new location. I am going to try to avoid getting there to try to like search and explore around a little bit before we walk into the cutscene that I'm sure is waiting for us. Here we go.
You have made the right choice coming to me. Come again.
Yeah.
There's something about this game that gives me a little bit of like weird social anxiety or guilt, really, not anxiety so much as guilt. Is that like I can't help how sometimes I shove people out of the way when I totally do not intend to. Like it looks like there's enough room for me to walk past them, and as you just saw, I just shoved 2 people unnecessarily. It was not my intent to like walk into them and be like, "Get on my way, I'm a samurai." But it happens anyways, and it bums me out when it does. In a weird, like, oh, I feel guilty. I shouldn't have shoved them. They're nice people. I would never have shoved them in real life. Sometimes you can't avoid, like, whoa, close proximity, like, bumped into you kind of stuff. But I would never then actively also shove people, even if I was, like, in a busy place and got, was bumping into others or others were bumping into me. Unless, of course, they were being aggressive and or, once it crosses the line to self-defense, it's a different statement, but a different concern. Anyways, I just feel weird about it whenever it happens in this game, and I thought I'd mention it. I don't know if this is considered like the wrong way to play through an Assassin's Creed map, but whether I'm trying to do it as a singular event before I even start the game the way I did with Mirage, which I did. I cleared the map and got to as many peak points as I could get, which I think I got to like 99% of them without engaging anybody. There was like 1 or 2 maybe that I couldn't get to because it was just like way too deep in an enemy territory, like in a camp. So far, I have not done that with this game because this map is huge, and it doesn't quite feel as huge as all that at first, until you realize like it's pretty densely packed. Like you don't know what you're looking at, especially if you don't know what a map of feudal Japan represents in terms of where cities are and where it's open. Just and it doesn't have as many things drawn in. Like when you first, if I remember correctly, some of these, like how here, like I've never been to Tamba, and there's like 2 things that are like sketchy doodle things of like something, and there's a few names, and there's a few like hints at like, oh, here's a peak for you to start with, right? And this whole, what do they call them? I forget. Prefectures, this county, as it were, in like English terms. Now, another thing I don't know about is is there more map? Are we getting DLC that opens up this stuff, or even like just a quest that sends us to another region? Because obviously this is not the entirety of Japan, and if we were to take a real world map of the archipelago, we'd realize this isn't even the majority of the place that we think of as Japan, right? Like it's a big sizable chunk. So I'm wondering if, like with Valhalla, which I did not know for the longest time, by the way, as I was playing my opening bits in Valhalla, I did not realize there was like stages to be played through, and that it's open world in each stage, as it were, but there are stages you will not see until you choose to push the quest that takes you there. I didn't realize how much traveling was involved in Valhalla, and it's so much bigger than I at first understood when I got it, especially now that I have access to all the DLC because of Ubisoft Plus. Genuine, authentic reference. I just happen to be a subscriber. No one's paying me to promote it. Although, would I take Ubisoft money? If they made me like an official Ubisoft player of all Ubisoft games and just like paid me to live stream 24 hours a day, yeah, I would. As long as I didn't have to I would have to read the contract. As long as there's nothing there that I couldn't live with signing away or into or whatever. But anyways, I digress. That's a whole. Where are we? Where are we doing? Okay, so I came over here and like, what's this level of this area? 23. And I have not explored any of this. But at least we're here now and we've got one like touchstone. I'm debating whether I should waste my time trying to get up in there. This is a castle. It's weird, it doesn't have a castle icon. Is it just because I haven't explored here yet? I should probably just move with this quest. The part of me is like, yes, go climbing and discover. Get on up in there. How far away is the thing? Let's find out. Alright, I'm gonna push. I'm gonna push the climb. Hopefully we can do this absolutely engagement free. I want to just pure sneak to the top and get out of there. Come on, buddy. You can do it. Where is it? It's way in that. Oh, I'm nowhere near it, am I? Whoa, that's a trek. I don't know that I can get there from here without assassinating a bunch of people. I think I started from the wrong direction. Woof! That hurt. That hurt more than I meant it to. I should not jump from super high places. Okay. I have to. I'm debating whether or not just to leave this one. We've got a local teleportation. We've got a local Eagle Peak to travel with. Do I need to get this one, or am I gonna get up into a fight that I don't want to start right now? I'm gonna take a hot minute to think about it real quick while we look at the map. Another dilemma. These two came up at the same time, these two quests. And I don't know which one to begin with. I'm sure they each involve a conversation cutscene with a decision. I don't know if we're going to be recruiting people and or having a boss fight here. I seem to remember thinking, and I could be wrong about all of this, but I seem to remember thinking that one or potentially both of these individuals that Yasuke is going to go talk to are also people on the hit list. The main central one from the painting. So I don't... We are right here. Let's just go right here. Let's go path of least travel. Okay, hang on. First of all, let's remove all monsters. Now we go. I'm going past him now. Oops. Yeah, he's right here somewhere. Oh, there's a thingy right there. Okay, let's park the horse right here, friends. Okay, I think I'm just gonna dive into whatever this whole thing is. It might be a crazy fight. It might be a big long discussion. I don't know.
have returned.
Nobutsuna-sensei?
I will never forget
Are you here?
what you did for me that day.
Sensei.
I'm unclear as to what is happening. But I did just... Okay, there is a loading widget happening. Okay, it's a big old flashback. Oh, I missed the screenshot of that castle. I really wanted that, but I was also not looking at my key. Here we go. Let's watch this thing. I'm going to pay attention.
What is it?
I have been sent by Lord Nobunaga to train with Kamizumi Nobutsuna-sensei.
Follow me. I bet he won't last 2 strikes.
Okay, we're going to have to fight a bunch of people here, I bet.
But look at his size. I think he could last 5.
I guess not yet. I thought it was like, okay, get ready to fight. And then nope, more cutscenes.
Diogo, Nobutsuna-sensei will do as Lord Nobunaga commands and train you in his Shinkageru style.
Thank you, Nobutsuna-sensei.
We have 1 month until Lord Nobunaga's return. He will expect you to be the finest of warriors by then. A shining example of strength, loyalty, and technique.
And if I am not?
You must be.
I will work hard to be the warrior Lord Nobunaga expects.
Good. But your success will take more than hard work. You will need humility, concentration, and perseverance. You must live Nobutsuna-sensei's teachings if you are to truly master them. Now take up the Shinai and show our sensei your skills. Do not hold back. I will not.
It's like I forgot how to play this game. Oh no! I got a cutscene already. I thought we were going to try again.
Follow me.
I feel terrible. I should have done better than that.
There is a house down those stairs. Go there. I will find you shortly.
That wasn't a duel, that was a beating.
How is he still standing?
That hurt.
You are the one cooking for us? That food is not fit for dogs.
Our master is a guest of Lord Nobunaga himself.
Tomorrow, it will improve. I promise.
It better, or Lord Nobunaga will hear about it.
Leave her alone.
And who is this now? Tell me you are not a student of Nobutsuna-sensei. Has he stooped so low? Oh, Master Masatoyo will want to hear about this.
Are you all right?
I am talking to you, Outlander. Don't you know to bow to your betters? You will pay for this. Stay down, Outlander. If you show such insolence again, you will know my katana.
You cannot stay there forever, Diogo. Come with me.
I would be fine in a barracks or a more modest lodging.
You are a guest of Lord Nobunaga. You will stay here. Tomorrow you train again. I will bring Sensei's instructions in the morning.
No. I cannot go back. I cannot give up. I cannot fail.
Diogo, Lady Oichi would like to meet you. You may approach. Lady Oichi, younger sister of Lord Nobunaga. Diogo, the visitor from...
Oh, everyone knows Diogo. He's so
Different?
tall.
I heard you had some trouble last night with samurai from Master Masatoyo's school.
Yes. I did not know who they were.
They have come to Azuchi with their master, Sanada Masatoyo, to pledge their fealty to my brother.
It was not my intention to make trouble.
The way I heard it, they were the ones making trouble. And you came to the defense of a woman they were harassing. That was noble. I wanted to meet this foreigner who would stand up for someone of no consequence to himself.
I know my brother took you into his service, but what brought you here to begin with?
The Portuguese.
You sound bitter.
No, not anymore. Whatever will come of my time here, I am ready. Lord Nobunaga is a great man.
It must be lonely, far from your family and home.
Okay. Whoa, I was not expecting this. I knew there was romancing in the game. And I figured it was like built in this way and not just random or according to... I just kind of figured there would be moments like this and it's only with particular characters, is what I'm trying to say. The other thing, I was just thinking a thought that I was hoping for a pause in the cutscenes to have a moment to express. I don't know if you guys remember, But at one point in the game, during a long cutscene that involves that whole thing about getting into the tea party, into the tea ceremony, there's a moment where you kind of get taught how to bow correctly in context, right? And I thought, and I hoped in a weird, fun way, that we were getting set up to have to choose carefully which way to bow for politic throughout the game. I haven't seen it again since. And it's curious to me why there isn't a default bow for someone, at something, just a bowing button or, you know, some sort of mechanic in the game for bowing. I think it's a missed opportunity. I'm not trying to be critical, but it would be lovely if it would have been interesting and potentially really cool. I don't know how else to put it. It would have been, it could have been potentially really interesting mechanic, especially if, as a behavior mechanic, it impacted those around you. Like if you showed the wrong kind of bow, there would be a response. If you picked the right perfect bow for the context, it would be a certain outcome. Anyways, I don't know that we'll ever see that, but it's just a thought that has been growing in my head ever since that day that we played the bow mechanic, where it was similar to just a dialogue tree, and you chose a certain degree of bowing. I thought it would be neat if there was like I don't know how they would do it, which way would be the easiest way to do it without complicating the button layout. But if there was a way to activate a bow as some part of some sort of menu of activities, of behavioral things, similar to like when you choose your gear or your tool you're going to throw, but instead it's like, or when you choose if you're going to choose to call your buddy, you know, now that we have an ally out of I don't know how many potential to pick from, I have no idea. I've yet to meet any others, but I don't know which way to go with this. Because I think I sort of I thought maybe I was flirting with Naue, but she also very firmly said, like, we're going to be war partners, not romantic partners. I'm like, okay, interesting. And I know that there's plenty of options along the way. At least there seems to be several. At least one of which is like triggering to, you know, those certain people that believe that kind of thing shouldn't exist in video games, which is a bit oppressive. A bit of a position of weird privilege, but I digress. I don't know what to do here. I am tempted to romance her though, but she's also my boss's sister, which could be real bad, right? Like I can get you into some serious professional trouble, unless they're like trying to get you to marry them or something. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what Here we go. I'm just gonna take a hot second and then pick a random thing. Well, I'm probably gonna romance her. Yeah, okay, here we go.
I am more lonely than I would like. So much loss over so many years.
I understand. Though a strong warrior never lacks in admirers.
Then I will train diligently.
What really brought you here? How long will you stay? What makes a man leave all he has known to come so far? Who are you really, Diogo?
Forgive me, Lady Owichi. I must depart.
Then before you go, we have a gift for you. This kosode was made by the woman you saved last night. She wanted you to have it.
I am honored.
You betray your intentions at every step.
apologies, Sensei.
No need. You did not react. You responded. Good.
That was so cool. And I guess it's not over yet. And also now we know where he gets this purple Kasade from. Because I was wondering, like, where did that come from? We had a whole thing earlier. Oh, here we go.
Kayastu! Para! Por que estás atrás de mim? Quem que te enviou? Valignano? Os outros?
O quê? Não sei o que queres dizer.
Por que andas a espiar-me?
Lamento. A minha curiosidade.
Para de mentir.
Tinha como missão negociar com o clã Oda a construção de uma igreja nas redondezas.
Estavas a observar-me.
Fiquei surpreendido por ver um homem como tu num lugar destes. Não devia ter sido indelicado. Perdoa-me.
Nobuzuna-sensei summons you, Diogo.
Oh, I thought we had finished for the day.
Indeed.
Who are these people? What does the sensei want with me at this time of night?
I was literally trying to keep up with that guy because I thought this was one of those, like, follow them. But I was like, hey, why is there no auto-follow?
So peaceful and quiet now. Unlike the day.
I realized as we were approaching the wall, I'm like, oh, we're not supposed to follow that guy at all.
What is this?
Enter, Diogo.
Lady Nene, my apologies. I did not expect you.
Please, sit. I wish to speak with you while your sensei is away.
Oh, okay. This is interesting. I'm not sure which way to play it right now. And I've been meaning to go see if I can't scrape a little something to keep smoking. I'm out of weed, but I like to scrape the tar. So I'm at that phase of my cycle. Of, you know, my month-to-month routine. Anyways, that's neither here nor there. I'm going to leave you lingering here on this position. That's what I'm going to step away for a hot second. Although I'm inclined to say I don't want to be disloyal. Although I do want to romance her, I don't want it to be the thing that blows up in your face and, you know, gets you on everyone's bad list. Although I wonder if that's just inherent in the story. It would be a way to be like, now you're no longer appreciated around here, mister. Okay, here we go.
Nobutsuna-sensei does not know you're here?
You are loyal, Diogo. Good. But we need not burden him with politics of a visit by Lord Hideyoshi's wife. You are fortunate, Diogo. You need allies at Azuchi, and Nobutsuna-sensei is valuable.
His training has been grueling.
That is why Lord Nobunaga chose him. There is no one better to test your strength, your skill, and most of all, your loyalty. Lord Nobunaga was also a student of Nobutsuna-sensei's teachings. Long ago, a devoted student with an unshakable belief in himself. That confidence blinds him to certain dangers. He has many enemies, more than even he knows. He needs someone like you.
Okay, so first of all, I think I was wrong. This isn't the sister of Nobunagi that we were offered the opportunity to romance. This is his wife, and I was just dumb. I didn't recognize that fact right away. Okay. I'm gonna ask for some more information in this situation.
Because of my size? My strength?
No, a humble man. Like the Ashigaru Lord Nobunaga is so fond of. Unencumbered by the jealousies and politicking of samurai and daimyo. Nobutsuna-sensei was once that for Lord Nobunaga. Lord Nobunaga once gifted Nobutsuna-sensei a prized katana, a reward for his teachings. But a champion from a rival school, Sanada Masatoyo's school, challenged Nobutsuna's champion for the sword and won. This defeat dishonored Nobutsuna-sensei, and he feels diminished him in the eyes of Lord Nobunaga. Those samurai who mocked you are from the same rival school. Masatoyo is their sensei.
I begin to understand.
Tomorrow, Lord Nobunaga returns to Azuchi. Masatoyo will swear allegiance to him at a ceremony. Masatoyo will make sure to wear Nobutsuna's katana at his belt.
For all to see.
Tomorrow is about loyalty. Something Lord Nobunaga values above all else.
Loyalty.
A new katana, I see.
It was a gift from Lady Nene.
It is rare to see you out of your room at this hour. Something troubles you.
Another interesting choice. It's also always interesting that, like, the prompt you get is not the wording that is then expressed, which I find interesting. I find the nuance in, like, the detail difference interesting. Meeny, meeny, I think I'm going to choose to remain silent for this one. I think.
No matter. Let us see how you wield that blade.
Okay. I hope that was a good choice.
Follow my movement. I must go now, Diogo. Continue the movements until your thoughts no longer trouble you.
Thank you, Nobutsuna-sensei. Benevolence, righteousness, courtesy, wisdom, integrity, courage. This is what it means to take up the sword. This is who I am.
I would be a warrior like you.
I am still learning myself. Nobutsuna-sensei is a true master.
My grandfather was a warrior. I wanted to be like him too. His name was Yasuke. He was brave, but also kind. When anyone needed something, they would call, Yasuke, Yasuke, and he would always help. And I miss him. And he was brave.
It is good to remember your grandfather, Yasuke. We should always act such that we are remembered well.
Yes, but I also want to be like you.
Yasuke.
Lord Oda Nobunaga.
Not now.
I present this helmet as a sign of my school's undying loyalty. Please accept this gift, my lord.
Diogo. Speak.
I challenge Masatoyo's champion to a duel. I will win back my mentor's sword.
Outrageous! This barbarian is no samurai. He has no right to.
Samurai or not, I permit this to. No. I command it.
Yes, Lord. But, Lord, my champion defeated 3 students. Can he do the same?
Send 3 or 30, it matters not. I will take that sword back. No! We fight with steel.
Whoa, dude, that's crazy!
Begin.
You said I would know your katana. Come on then.
I will relish watching you die in shame.
Okay, I need to turn off photo mode. I forget to turn off photo mode. I cannot fight with photo mode on because I accidentally double-click the thumbsticks a lot, and it sucks.
You said I would know your katana. Come on then.
I will relish watching you die in shame.
That was a dope chapter in the story, and I just hope that that song wasn't like a licensed like song that's gonna mute all out the audio on that portion of the video of the thing. Oh, we're not done yet. Here we go.
Join me.
This tree remains my favorite in all of Azuchi.
Cultivating a bonsai is about guiding its proportion, its balance, and its maturation. But the tree itself must also want to develop. A gardener can only guide the tree so far.
The tree unloaded before the scene cut to the next angle. That was goofy and sad and cute and funny. Video game moments like that.
My hope is to remain worthy of your guidance, Sensei.
You are more than worthy. You have come from a faraway land, shaken off bondage, and mastered our tongue. Foreign samurai are unheard of, yet you were chosen by the great Lord Nobunaga. I don't know what Lord Nobunaga saw in you when he first sent you, but I'm glad that he did. You may yet prove to be the most promising student to ever study Shinkage-ryu.
You honor me, Nobutsuna-sensei.
That is a list of names. The greatest students from across my many years of teaching. They will push you harder than I can. And if you can defeat them, you will be the true champion of my school. When you are ready, open that scroll and read those names. But only when you are truly ready.
I will challenge these students, and whoever wins, the victory is yours, Sensei.
Wild, so it's a whole new target list.
Yasuke, Lady Oichi said I might find you here.
Is she alright?
She requests your presence at Odani Castle. Or what is left of it.
I will go to her.
You should also know there is a shadow of Aomi. Corrupt officials tax the locals and give nothing in return. The people suffer.
Let me see what can be done to help them. Nobutsuna-sensei has moved out of Azuchi Castle. I should visit him at his new estate.
One moment, friends. I must answer Mother Nature's call. I will be right back, and we'll continue our adventure. Okay. It's time to figure out where we are and where we need to go next. Okie dokie, friends. I need to take a little break for food consumption. I just realized I'm hungry. Haven't eaten yet today. So we're going to save up right here and then return in just a hot minute. I'll make it quick. And proceed with this next central storyline thing. Whatever you call these little chapters that are like part... They're not quite quick time events exactly, right? They're not quite that. But they are long episodes of cutscenes interspersed sometimes with lengthy action sequences and sometimes not so lengthy, like the sequences we just had to play. And I was like, I could have done better. And I'm like, oh no, of course you were supposed to lose. Duh, the story narrative. Anyways, gonna save up and then we'll be back in a bit. Thank you very much, friends. Appreciate you being here. We'll be back in just a moment after a brief meal break.